Alright guys, Supreme Kami here, and today's topic we will be talking about what do you want to summon for as well as the Volt team right now. I'm just gonna say I may not be the most knowledgeable player as far as going to the Volt lineup, just because there are things that I don't really have. There are only occasions where I have tried out on the test server. Talon, I abruptly tested out on the test server, not to the full extent, so I really don't have too much comment on even talking about him, right? Fenrir, I personally do own her, so they are a little bit more I can talk to her about. Robelia was the one that I have extensively tested her out in terms of the test server, so I pretty much do know her, like simplicity. What do you want to do with her, like how to play her in the Volt team or etc. But before talking about these three Volt characters, I just want to let you guys know that in the very near future, give or take in the next 20 plus days, we will be getting Mimi. So she is the next anticipated 3.0 character that is the Volt. So she is gonna complete the initial element where we went from flame, we went from uh, frost, physical right now, and then Volt. So Volt at the end of the lineup, they will be the more quote unquote the strongest of the element, just because every progression gets a little bit stronger. So Volt will be really strong towards the end. Given that we know the information, how do you guys want to go about as far as summoning on? What do you need in order to kind of complete your Volt team? So I think we will kind of go through the process of elimination once again, as far as like pros and cons of the character. Do you want it or don't want it? So Tylon is one of the three male characters that are summonable as far as the limited aspect of it. We do have Zeke currently out, and then we have Tylon, and then we have Incris. So I think given the fact that we don't really have too many male characters, if you personally like male character, go for him. I don't think it'll be a miss anyways. But if you're simply wanting to use Tylon on the aspect of wanting him on your physical on your Volt team, how good is he? I'm just gonna say I'm thinking that Tylon doesn't really fit the overall in the near future, really not gonna fit that Volt team all that great. I'm kind of guessing just because even testing it with Robelia, it wasn't really functioning as intended, I guess, in a way, because in terms of his play mechanics, he depletes a lot of his own HP in return to a lot of like big damage per se, but that's not really that great as far as like end game taunting, where you will consistently take damage from the enemy already. Given that you are taking damage on yourself, it may be a little bit of a double-edged sword, but do keep that in mind. He does heal himself back up gradually, as in his description. But I just don't think his playability, was his offering, it just may not be that great for the current and even on the future one. So that's why I'm just gonna say he may not be worth it. I could be completely wrong. He may be very good in the near future. Who knows? But I just don't think he's the one that you want to be focusing on right now. With that said, let's now talk about Fenrir. So Fenrir right now is definitely the face of the Volt team. She is the one that's doing the on-field main DPS, like the one that she's gonna be doing a lot of damage. I think when she was introduced, she was highly anticipated. She was like really hyped. Like they gave us a lot of freebies through summoning when she was out, not really for a lot of character during her era. So that was like, that's how they put a lot of effort into it, and they know that people will summon her. First of all, she does offer a lot. She was pretty much like the bridging character to kind of make a Rainbow team accessible back then with Lyn, Saki, and you run her. She would like that lineup was actually on par with some of your mono elemental teams. So that's that like she was strong because she gives, when you run three different element in the same team, she also gives a resident on top of that as well. So that you're still getting an additional 15% attack. So that's why she was really strong. On top of that, she also does do great damage. I think she has like, I think it's like a song world kind of feel that surrounds like the enemy. I think within that field, the enemy does get damaged as well, if I'm recalling. So that's kind of like your AoE damage. I think if I'm recalling, I could be mistaken on that, but I think that's how I saw it. I saw nearby enemy taking damage, so she was strong. As far as her, I do definitely do recommend you guys summon for at least 2 1-star advancement, because upon her 1-star advancement, you do gain upon using her initial main skills. She does gain sub skills. She can use it up to twice, depending on if you are able to dodge within like a given timer or whatnot. She is able to gain an additional one, so you are able to do 3 skill set in one go. So she is really strong. Other than that, I think that's all the regards I would give her. Is like she is really good, highly dependable, like really dependable on your on your Volt team for sure. So she's definitely a must-have currently on your current Volt team. I think probably in the near future she probably maybe good as well. I don't really know what Mimi does or how well they synergize, but you know, she at least she will still have a spot for your Volt team for sure. And then we have a Robelia. Yeah, Robelia is probably right now the core that kind of makes the overall Volt team functions the way it does. First of all, she does numerous things. She does things way better than any of the other Volt character does. But unfortunately, she is not the main DPS weapon on the team. She's more for offering burst damage via her skills. She's offering damage buffs when you discharge, actually landing it. So we have that, and she's really great at doing, you know, AoE damage when you have her skill. She's just really great at grouping them up. I think we are testing it in a test server. I think her main problem is her advancement just makes her so much better that it's just hard to kind of miss on her, because she gives so much more damage boost like when you have her 6-star, and her burst damage actually like her. Okay, so initially you are able, like when you start out the rotation, her Crystal Max don't max out at max HP obviously, and then you can heal it back up every time you do a dodge attack, but they only give you 2 dodge, like they only give you 2 counter, you dodge, you get 50% of the max up the Crystal Max Thorn to like 50%, but 50% does not do nearly as great damage when it's at max. So it's just when her advancement at 5 stars gives it. So every time you do a dodge attack, when you have the counter, it's up to 50%. So you do 2 dodge attack, and she's up to replenishes up to 100% Crystal Max HP, and you spam the skill, and man, you do tons of damage. So I think the only flaw that I would say about Robelia is, man, you just have to get it to high investment to be effective. Other than that, she'll be very good at, you know, just base 0-star per se. And if I'm being a little biased, I will have to say her 3-star investment, like her skin, it's pretty nice. So I'll kind of throw that in there. But other than that, one of her other gimmicks is definitely a lot more viable nowadays. Is the fact that she has the ability to pretty much ease your way through exploration. She's able to fly pretty much at your own demand. So in terms of that, she does have great utility, not just in game, but exploration wise is pretty good as well. Given all that said, as far as Matrix C, you guys do know the general idea. I think it's just that anything that comes out in the latter portion, giving Robelia is the one that you want to start things out with, because the longevity on those ships are just going to be a lot more better, same as the character. So I think that is the trend that I'm just going to be saying, because if you guys don't have the Matrix C to begin with, why not start from the latest one, because you're not going to be missing out anything on the early one. I would say on Fenrir's one, I think it may be a skip for sure, just because in terms of the 2-piece set, you can actually activate the same condition when you have Scylla such chips, because it's giving increasing crit damage. So this is actually something you can activate with the Scylla chips, but I think the one for Scylla, the downside to it is not off, like it's not off you. So if you don't have it, if you're not running it on the weapon that you equip with, you lose it. So I think that's the main difference, but you can get that for free to play option as well. It's just that you don't get that off you you know, matrix effects. But other than that, I think that's pretty much what I have to say. So, you know, just a quick recap. Definitely do go for Robelia, then followed by A1 Fenrir, and then Talon. Just kind of skip it. If you do like male character, go for it. But other than that, he's definitely a skip. So that's pretty much it for me as far as the Volt edition. And then I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.